All right, let's get his take on all these headlines. And to do that, I'm joined now by Sky News Political Editor Andrew Clennell. Thank you. I've shuffled you to Wednesday this little bit of time, Andrew, because I know you're doing double duty there for our colleague Kieran Gilbert during the afternoons. Let's talk about inflation. I'm going to get into the economics with Ross Greenwood in a moment, but there's plenty of politics in it here for the government. On the surface, it looks like it's good news. What do you think?
I think it's good news, but not great news. And I think Jim Chalmers will be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief, but with some concern. Look, the government will always say now, because they know how unpopular the interest rate increases are, that the Reserve Bank, they'll hint the Reserve Bank should stop. But I think in their ideal world, they want inflation to come down a bit more, so they probably wouldn't mind an increase next week and then just no more after that. And that's kind of common sense if you think about it. The market expectation was over the quarter, it would increase between 0.9 and 1.3. It increased by 0.8. So it's a better than expected result, which is good news. But it's pretty clear what's driving it is the tight labour market, a lack of workers that drives up wages, that can push up inflation, goods and the supply chains problem, that's starting to become less of an issue. So there are lots of vulnerabilities there, but I think it's coming down. They just need that to continue. Sorry, what were you going to say, Peter?
I was just going to make a political point there too. Obviously, we've got a new governor coming in, the deputy to the current governor. She's therefore not absolved from the opprobrium that we've been levelling across the board, I think, at Phil Lowe. He's about to depart. Labor appointed her, presumably. They can't throw as much mud at her given she's their appointment as they had at Lowe. So if rates, the official cash rate keeps being put up by the Reserve Bank, they'll own some of these decisions in a way perhaps they've tried not to with Lowe. And I think that's something we're going to watch. But let's not forget, at 6%, it's still double what the desirable band is. The top of that band, it's 2 to 3. The top of that band's 3. We're now at 6. It's still got to move a long way down.
Yeah, that's right. But for this quarter, it's 0.8. And if you times that by 4, that's 3.2. So, the annual figure is horrific, but the quarterly figure is heading in the right direction. And they could get lucky in what you're talking about. Michelle Bullock could get lucky. If Phil Lowe does one more, he exits stage left in September. When he took on the job from Glenn Stevens, he didn't have to hike rates for 11 months. That's what the government and Michelle Bullock could be hoping for here. They'd be pretty lucky to get there, but there's a chance after this figure today. We'll look to what happens after another rate hike and the next monthly inflation figures and the next monthly unemployment figures. And I never thought there'd be a day, Peter, where we'd be saying unemployment's too low in Australia. In all my time observing and covering politics, that is the situation at the moment. You're not going to get inflation down when you can't get enough workers.
Well, it's going to stay low, given they're going to flood the market with workers coming from overseas too. I mean, that's the other issue. Interestingly, we'll see how it goes, but this is our first female governor. I think she's up to it. She's certainly got a good CV, but I bet you the first person that goes after a decision she makes will be accused of being sexist, criticising a female governor. We've certainly given the male governors plenty of free advice as well.